Hi guys, my name's David and I'm a third year LLB student here at Bangor University, and I'm in my third year of my law degree. What I wanted to sort of get across to you guys is about writing personal statements, because I know it is a big thing. I actually wrote mine 3 times before I actually submitted it on the system. So what I just wanted to get was just some information for you guys, just to really sort of help you out and give you some hints and tips on how to make a good personal statement to ensure that yours is looked at and hopefully you get a university offer like I did. So I'm here with my actual personal tutor in university, Chaynee, who actually interviewed me, and Chaynee read my personal statement and I was interviewed for the university and obviously got an unconditional offer. So Chaynee, tell me, when you read my personal statement, what made it stand out amongst the rest?
First of all, it's original, so your personal statement was really quite original in both its content and in the way you wrote it. So the important thing when you write a personal statement is to write it as yourself. Okay. So rather than taking generic phrases you've seen on the internet or anything like that, it's important to write as you, in your own voice, and to explain to the universities you're applying to what it is that interests you and why you deserve a place on their course.
Okay, and don't copy and paste.
No, don't copy and paste.
Don't copy and paste.
But you can actually write the personal statement in Word. That makes sense, because if you try and write it on the UCAS portal, a lot can go wrong. So it's important to write it in Word. 4,000 characters, which is about 500 or 550 words, a side of A4 basically, in font size 12, and you type it into Word and then just copy and paste it into the programme when you're happy with it, into UCAS.
Is there any particular way you should structure a personal statement at all?
There's no prescriptive one single structure, and when you write the personal statement yourself in your own voice, it tends to come across the best. But there are certain key things that you would include in a personal statement. So, for example, the best way to start it really when you start drafting your personal statements is for your own reference just to draw up a list of the things that you've done over the past 3 to 4 years, even just in bullet points. And then when you do that, it sort of develops itself into a structure. You can say, well, I started with this, these were my subjects of interest, this is other experience I've got, this is why this subject interests me. And even if you don't make your personal statement specific to a single university, you can still tailor it very, very well to the subject that you want to do. So you can set out, for example, any experience you've done, for example, marine biology or law, if you've got any practical experience, if you've been to court or you've been to see something happening in your field, you can put that in. Any relevant reading, any skills you've got, even part-time employment, everything counts. And the important thing is to put down all of the things that make you attractive as an applicant to the institutions you're applying to, and also what makes you you, what makes you stand out as a person.
Is there anything else beyond qualifications you think what makes a personal statement stand out either?
Well, when it comes to the UCAS application, there are actually 3 main parts to it, or 4 in a sense. There are your actual grades, if you have any, from GCSEs or things you've done before. There are your predicted grades, which your school or college teacher provide to us, if you've got any exams outstanding left to do. There's your personal statement, and then there's also the reference as well. And the personal statement is the important part because it amplifies on your qualifications. So for example, we might have a lot of applicants with an A level in a particular subject. And what we're looking for on top of that, on top of the qualifications, is what makes that person a good applicant for this course, so why they're interested in it and why we'd be excited to admit that person to study that degree with us. So we might look at hobbies, interests, any volunteering they've done. For example, for nursing, we might look at whether they've done any volunteering, all sorts of different kinds of things, and things that you don't think would necessarily be a good thing as well. So if someone's overcome significant adversity or dealt with challenges in their life, we want to know about that, because all of these things make you a rounded person and all of them have a bearing on your going on to do things in the future. So we want to hear about everything that could potentially make you a better person to be on our courses.
What things do you think you should avoid in a personal statement?
Well, that's an interesting question, because there's a lot of conflicting advice available, particularly if you go on the internet and you look for things to avoid in a personal statement. I would say there isn't actually a central list anywhere of things to categorically avoid, other than there are 2 things to bear in mind. And the first big one is not to lie. So you shouldn't actually lie and fabricate something that you've done when you actually haven't done it. And also there's no need as well, because you as a person have got enough things that make you unique and make you interesting as an applicant without actually having to do that. And also it's very difficult to keep up a pretense for the full 3 years of study, so just don't bother. Make it easy for yourself in the first instance and just be honest, because we're really excited to read about you and about things you have done rather than the things that you haven't.
Great.
Another thing that we would say is, if you can, get somebody to proofread your personal statement, because it's very, very difficult when you've been staring at a document for so long, drafting and redrafting, and it's something you feel has so much importance. It's really important to get an independent pair of eyes on it, even if it's just a family member, a friend, your mum, somebody at college, even your sixth form tutor, or even somebody you work with if you're a mature applicant. The important thing is to have a fresh pair of eyes look at it, just to offer you any advice, and also spot any typos in there as well, which can slip in for any of us. So it's important to get a second pair of eyes on it as well, just to look over it before you press submit on your final draft, just to make sure that you're absolutely happy and haven't missed anything in there. But I would say ultimately what you want to do is write a statement about yourself, why you're interested in coming to study with us, and write a statement that we'd be excited to read, because we look to admit good applicants. All universities look to admit good applicants, and when we read your statement, that's what we're looking for. We want to admit good students, so we just want you to tell us why we should admit you, and that's what we're looking for.
Thank you very much. Well, there's been some fantastic hints and tips and tricks there, so thank you for your time, Chaynee. So that's it, guys. I hope what has been said in this video is going to help you with your personal statements. Like I said, I wrote mine 3 times, but here I am in my 3rd year, and it's been a fantastic adventure from year 1 to year 3 to where I am now. So good luck with the applications, and I wish you all the best in your future studies.